This is Multiplaying, Episode 7 on September 11th, 2009.
Hi, this is Mev, and you're listening to
Multiplaying!
This guild is run entirely by sock puppets.
You're sleeping already.
Oh no, Jack! Dead grandma!
Yeah! Bring that energy.
Yeah, she's into it.
What the hell was that?
Yeah! Live it!
Can you guys hear my daughter crying?
No.
Oh, great. Did you crank that up a little bit?
Maybe bring her closer.
We need the energy.
She's got it to spare.
Well, you are listening to Multiplaying. We're a proud member of the League of Uninformed MMOers. We are a companion podcast of multiplaying.net, a blog, forum, and gaming community that's gaming as time allows. And this is our podcast on all that concerns us. Hosting today is Ab.
Hi!
Grok.
Hey!
Slurms.
Yo!
Tak.
Hello.
And myself, Zeli. What are you currently playing, drinking, Ab?
I'm drinking Sacred Cow IPA from our favorite brewery, Arbor Brewing Company, since 1995. I haven't been playing a ton. I've been playing a little bit of Aion, but I haven't had a ton of time. This week's been crazy at work. I mean, literally crazy.
Tell them about your windshield.
So I was driving to Lansing the other day for I had to speak at a conference where I was being introduced by one of the heads of mental health for the state. So I'm like, all right, I gotta do this right. You know, I didn't get completely hammered.
You wore a tie.
I wore a tie. Yeah.
Which is something you don't do when you deal with developmentally delayed children.
No, because they grab that tie. And so I was driving down the road, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make it, just on time. I'm not gonna be too early or whatever. And I'm driving, and all of a sudden I hear an explosion, and I look back, and my rear window is gone. And there's no one behind me or anything, and so I just turn around and go, huh? And I just kept driving because I had to get there.
He drove all the way to Lansing with no rear windshield.
Yeah. And I could just feel everyone's eyes on me, staring at me.
Glass just all over the inside of his car.
That motherfucker got shot at.
Yeah. I did do a quick look down to see if I had any bullet holes in me. I was like, oh, don't want there to be blood pooling. A movie. But no, there wasn't. So I got there and I parked. It was that campus at Michigan State, and I park in a structure. I go in and I do my thing, and I leave, and I'm going to find a place to get it done. And I sit in a parking structure, and I get in the driver's seat, and I start the car, and a Michigan State cop drives by and then stops after he gets past me. So I'm like, all right, he must have seen me.
I don't have a real windshield. Yeah.
So I get out, and I'm just doing diarrhea of the mouth. Where I'm just like, I was driving here, and I'm getting out my parking ticket, showing him that somehow, proves my story, and I quit talking, and he just looks at me, and he kind of looks at me, and he goes well, and I said, well, what happens now? And he goes, because I didn't know if that was you could get a ticket for driving without whatever. So he said, well, we don't take incident reports for non-criminal events. And I'm just looking at him, and it slowly dawns on me. And I say, I didn't call you. And then he's like, oh, okay, someone here reported that there was a vandalism and your car was broken into. And then he was nice. So I spent the rest of my day trying to get that fixed. So, yeah, that was awesome.
All right.
That's what I've been playing.
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks. I cleaned out my car and everything, and I didn't find anything. So I don't know if something hit it.
I thought it'd be like a golf ball or something, if you went by a golf course or something like that. Because I worked at a golf course for a while, and that would happen to people.
A golf course where they used bullets.
throw copper.
Oh, well, Grok, what's your beverage and what's your game?
Drinking Stella Artois.
Nice.
Yep, and been playing the open beta for Aion, although not a lot. Trying to save it up for the actual launch. Kind of hard to put some time into a game when you know that you're gonna have that character wiped by the end of the week. So just been going in. I've been trying out the warrior class because I hadn't played that before. But yeah, I just can't get up the energy to play it before next week. So and that's pretty much it. It's been a busy week for me too.
Slurms, what you been playing, drinking?
Tonight, keeping sober, but I'm jacking up on Mountain Dew.
Nice.
Yeah! Oh, are you eating Funyuns too?
Munchos.
Munchos!
Yeah! You gonna watch heavy metal later?
Did you say Funyun soup?
Oh, Funyuns.
What are Funyuns?
You don't know what Funyuns are?
Nope, we don't have those in Canada.
Wow, I love Funyuns.
We're shipping you some Funyuns and some Munchos.
Funyuns are...
They're like fake onion rings. They're like just this crunchy fried nothing that tastes like onion rings.
Are they bad for you?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Hook me up.
Yeah.
But what I'm playing, let's see, a lot of things. Been playing some Batman Arkham Asylum some more.
Oh, I beat that.
You did?
Yeah.
You
Yes,
son of a bitch.
slacker.
Man,
The
I haven't
ending.
really been.
Oh, tell him about it. Tell him all about it.
Tell me what happens next in my game.
I wasn't going to tell him, but it's badass.
Oh my god.
Was Tack okay? Do we need a
Sorry.
second help?
Is your back window okay?
Yeah. Did they get you too?
Multiplaying crew has been targeted.
Someone's out to get us, guys.
Someone is not a fan of the League of Uninformed MMOers.
Clearly.
Other than Batman, it's hard to get back on track now. I've been playing Valkyria Chronicles on the PS3. Just picked it up uber cheap from a store which I hate, which I won't mention. But other than that, played a little Fat Princess earlier. And avoiding Aion open beta because, like everybody else pretty much in here, I don't want to get burnt out on it before it even begins and get a character wiped again. So that's about it.
Tack.
So,
What you been playing, man? What's going on?
nothing. I've
What's cracking?
Tell us about you.
Your sexy ass.
just been playing Aion because I got nothing better to do other than work. So
You're not feeling burnout?
I got nothing else to really burn out on. So I've had nothing to do for like the past 2 weeks before Aion other than troll forums. So this is kind of just like whatever I'm playing now.
What'd you get up to? What level are you up to?
I am 19 right now, like a bubble away from 20.
And the assassin, right?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, he's a blast. Pre-16, they're kind of slow killing, like not as fast as you would think. I mean, it's a decent speed once you get like the crit up there and stuff like that. But at 16, they get like the second and like their signet patterns, and you kind of view signet patterns as like a combo point, and then you have another spell that you release like the quote unquote combo points, and it does like pretty high spike damage. The thing is you get the first like signet pattern and the release at one level at 13. And they don't do much damage, really, at all. Like, so you don't really think there's like much point to it. But by the time you get to 16, you get the second one, and you can start stacking them because you time out the time in between the cooldowns for the duration with the second one. And
So what do you
A lot of
think? Are you still going to go main with your sorcerer when you start?
I don't even think I'm gonna play sorcerer anymore. I'm thinking I'm gonna play ranger on Elias.
Really?
Yeah,
You're all over the place.
Yeah, screw it all.
yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just class scared after choosing chosen. Like I'm terrified to like stick with one class. Like I think if I like switch it up, like I can kind of
Like you're going to fool the developers.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was just thinking.
They're watching a screen.
Which
and
one
like,
do we get?
They're like, oh, he's a ranger. He's an assassin. What an asshole. I can't keep up with you. Don't pick Channer.
Yeah.
staying away from the healing classes for a while, at least.
Zeli,
A while.
Zeli, what are you drinking playing?
I am drinking Sam Adams Light because I do not like IPAs.
Yeah. You don't.
I do not. They taste like earwax. They're gross.
I can safely say I've never tasted earwax.
I don't recommend it.
Okay. Yes.
Unless you like IPAs, and then you might be really missing out.
Shove it in there and
Yeah.
suck on it like a pacifier.
God. And I've been playing, I bought KOTOR on Steam during the week when I was playing. And
Sweet.
I restarted that for the 4th time, so.
I still need to pick that up, but I did pick up, actually that was another thing that I played this week and I didn't even mention it. Picked up Braid.
Super cheap this weekend.
Yeah, $5 on Steam, which by the time you hear this, it'll probably not be on sale anymore, so sorry.
So,
Well,
you missed it.
You should buy that game anyway. That game's awesome.
It is very good so far, but it's been aggravating at times.
Oh, it's that game will make you want to throw the TV across.
Awesome. But it's so awesome.
But it's so well done. I mean, it makes you think in ways that you feel like you're going to break your brain. But once you figure it out, it's rewarding. It's awesome.
Wow, we wrapped that up quick.
Damn it.
Putting this podcast to bed.
Yeah, this is going right along. We even had a sidetrack in there. Wow.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
so glad that happened so we could
We had something to talk about.
have a sidetrack.
Yeah, thank you for that. On Multiplaying, the only thing I read all week, because I've been really busy at work, is the half-assed reviews and how you were talking about the rating system. And
there wasn't a whole lot coming up on the site this week just because I like everybody else in here, I think I've been pretty busy, so not a lot of time. I've been the one day that I wrote about the Dreamcast, I cut my finger at work, so it's been painful to type. But no, the half-assed review thing, I just kind of put an explanation up on there about why we don't do a lot of reviews anyways, but when we do actually put an article up as per a review, we call it a half-assed review for a reason. It's because of the fact we don't finish a lot of games, or I personally don't finish a lot of games.
No, none of us really finish a lot.
Well,
No.
because of the whole thing, we all have lives. We're all adults. We all have jobs. Most of us have kids, so there's not a lot of time. We get to a certain point and we get to actually play games, but we don't usually get to the point that most website reviewers get to, of finishing it and do a full-on review. And we don't get pre-release info and stuff, so we do a half-assed review. It's not to say it's a bad review. It's just from the experience, from the time that we put into the game, this is what we think of it. This is our experience in it. It's our opinions on it. Just what I feel a review should be is just what the writer's opinions and feelings of the game are.
You had posted that video of Adam Sessler,
Yeah.
and how he was saying, he was specifically talking about the Beatles rock band and how they had given it a 4 out of 5, and he was saying, but don't look at that 4 out of 5, this is still an amazing game, and
Yeah.
and he was saying how what they say about the game goes beyond the actual stupid score, and
he almost seemed to be getting in that video to the same way that I felt about scoring measures on reviews. Is like all the stuff that they write about on a review means a hell of a lot more to me than that score that they put on the end. And I think that's what he was getting at. It almost seemed to be getting to an aggravated stage at it. That's like, just why are we
he always
looking at
seems a little
scores?
aggravated.
Yeah, well, yeah, he does, but that's
why he's got no hair.
It's my excuse then.
I wonder though if the fact that they know they have to put a number to the review, I wonder if that affects the way they write the review.
I bet it's annoying.
Like I was saying in my, I posted a comment to your post, and I mentioned that, for instance, if I were to review WoW right now, and I were to review the graphic engine, I'd have to give it a poor score, because if I gave AOC a 9 out of 10 in the graphic department, how can I possibly give a 9 out of 10 to WoW in the graphic department? You know what I mean? There's no way to properly compare those graphics. But when I get rid of the number and I can talk about things like art direction and sort of just my personal bias on the art direction and the overall graphics, I think that's a more accurate sort of way of looking at things than the number.
Yeah, and that's when I can't remember what the first half-ass review was on, but it was years and years ago.
You could dig it out.
And I threw it up
I think
over
it was on
something.
a movie. I think it was on the newsletter back when we had newsletters. I don't think it's even.
No, it was before that. It was on a
Really?
board. I remember when I first did it, I'm like, I just want to throw up here, and it was literally 2 sentences,
Yeah.
but it was just a quick summary of my gut opinion of it, and it kind of goes to what you guys are saying. I think sometimes reviewers get too locked into trying to be unbiased and giving an objective view of this game, of the experience, and what
Which
ours
is crap.
Yeah, what
Which
ours
is
are
crap because there's
It's a
always
review.
bias.
It's your experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
And
is
it's
biased.
just a quick summary of this is how I felt. Are the feelings or from my quick experience with the game, and hopefully this means something to somebody, And it
But
probably means a
probably
lot more.
not.
Probably means a lot more to us because we know each other a little bit and know if somebody likes something, or if Slurm says, this means this to them, then I probably know whether that's for me or not. But
It's hard to do, especially now with so much being like multiplayer. I think I might have said something in the article that I wrote about it. Maybe I didn't. But with so much stuff being multiplayer, especially MMOs, it's almost impossible to do a review. Every review out there, even if it says it's a review and gives the game a score, it's a half-assed review because in 6 months' time, the way that stuff gets patched and changed, it's a different game.
Yeah, this day and age.
It's
so
not.
I don't even think
it doesn't stay.
more and more.
For an MMO, I don't think you can review it for like at
But people
least
do.
3-4 months. I mean, it takes a long time to really get a whole picture of what an MMO is.
Yeah.
And rarely do sites go back and review those and get to give them a letter score like they do initially.
Some do. I mean, there was the whole issue with the Darkfall review on Eurogamer or whatever site that was that gave Darkfall a horrible 2 out of 10 review, and the whole Darkfall community went up in arms about how it was like, oh, you didn't even play the game for more than a week or whatever. There was no way that you gave it that bad of a review, or you can give it that bad a review. So they went back months later and they gave it a 3 out of 10.
Assholes.
Yeah, why even do that? Why pick at that scab? I mean,
Well, they even used a different reviewer, and he spent I can't remember X amount of time in the game, but he still found so many things he didn't like about it. But if you want to know more about that, go over to Hardcore Casual. If you dig into the archives on that site, Sincane's got quite a bit to talk about with that. So
the other thing I thought with the video with Adam Sessler, how he was saying, they had to give it a 4 out of 5 because they found some things that didn't sit well with them. But the overall experience was amazing, and it was almost like the game still compensated for those shortcomings, more than compensated for.
I'm totally
Bless
burnt
you.
out. I'm totally burnt out on music games, but I want that game.
I want that game.
Right,
Amber hates
yeah.
that game. She says it's awesome.
but he did even put the little carrot in there that if you're not a Beatles fan,
Well, doesn't that go without saying?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it kind of does. That's
I
what they
hate that. I hate when people say, "Oh, they said it was awesome, but I hate AC/DC." It's
And didn't he also
don't buy
say that-
AC/DC.
Didn't he also say that you kind of know that going in because on the box the name Beatles is just dwarfs rock band?
Yeah.
If you're such an idiot that you don't like Beatles music and you buy the Beatles, you deserve to get ripped off.
Yeah.
You are an idiot. That is the stupid tax right there.
I think those whole line of games are incredible in terms of, bringing music to a whole new level. Rather than just sitting there listening to it, now you're interacting with it. I can't imagine how that's not a cool thing.
Yeah, and for the most part, you're interacting with it with someone else. I mean,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, since the newer games. Yeah.
yeah.
Way back in the when it first came out, you'd listen to it on the radio when it came on. If you're lucky enough to have a phonograph, you could play it like that. But for the most part, it was going to dances and stuff like that and interacting. And then everybody got a radio and everybody got their own little Walkman and whatever, and music became much more of a solo sort of thing, a personal sort of thing. And this is bringing it back out to a much more festive and interactive idea. I think it's awesome.
Where's Rat? That's what I've been saying. Where's my rat? Just docking.
When you said that last week, when you said this is where rat,
Yeah.
I didn't even catch it when you said it until I listened to the podcast. I was like, oh god, I love that episode. This is where rat.
Thought we were a quiet riot.
That was great.
Oh.
Anyways, what's next? The site of the week?
Our side of the week. You get
Site
to
of
say
the
it.
week? Oh, sure, because I don't know how to say it.
I don't know.
I don't know if Tholf even knows how to say it, but
Let's
he
make
probably...
Grok say it. Say it, Grok.
Impetusium.
Impetusium.
I
think
still
it's
think it's...
It's Impetusium.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I said.
What do you say, Tack?
Impetusium.
The world may never know.
We should have him on the show.
This is going to go down with like JFK
Do you
getting
think-
shot.
Yeah. Do you think Dolph would just come on the show and like?
I don't know. He's over in Europe, though, so I don't know what the time
Well, we
difference
could,
would be. But
you
I think
know.
actually time is the same everywhere.
Time's the same everywhere. Didn't you? Well, yeah.
That's
Let's
true.
get into that with concerning Aion and the.
Well, wait.
And
Yeah. Wait.
We got to talk more about side of the week.
All
Hold on,
right.
we gotta. Okay, real quick.
All right.
Side of the week: Impetusium, however you say it. Go check out Tholf's blog. It's impetusium.blogspot.com, and that first word I said is spelled Impetusium. He gave us part of the side of the week reasons because he gave us some huge good feedback about our last podcast, but mostly he's the side of the week because it is an awesome blog. He used to blog over, I think we've mentioned this in the last one, but he used to
mentioned it,
blog
like-
for war.
frequently.
Yeah, we've mentioned quite a bit. It's
Man crush.
I got a bromance for this dude.
Yeah.
It's a great blog. Stunny Stomper, his war blog was great. Evidently, it's so great. It's looking like he's getting some offers from websites to do some work for them. So if you go over there, and his last little update that he put up today was was a quick blog update, and in it he mentioned. Due to people liking my blog and the content I create, I've been contacted by various people that want me to write articles for gaming magazines or create exclusive guides for websites and whatnot. I'm currently sorting out the offers and checking in, what makes the most sense for me. I'll be sure to keep you posted about it. So yeah, definitely follow him and wherever he goes because he does awesome maps. And just great content. So.
And the site just looks amazing. Like
It
all of
does.
the artwork and everything. Like he has a great looking blog.
Even for, it's gotta all be like custom CSS stuff too because it's just a blogspot blog.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a freebie blog, but he must have done all the work, I'm assuming, in CSS, which I'd love to be able to learn all that stuff. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
I need to learn that.
In my free time.
Yeah. Anyway.
Whatever that is.
Well, time is the same everywhere, right?
Mhm, yeah.
Yes.
It is currently.
As far as I know,
Well, it's got to be. It's 9:38. That's what time it is.
I could call up anybody right now and just assume.
Yeah. Apparently, what I learned today, Japan is all one time zone, which I'm not too shocked
Korea?
about. Korea is all one time zone, and I learned today that China, despite how big it is all one time zone.
Is it really?
They've been going by the official time zone of Beijing for the official country's time zone, and they only
Wow.
recognize one time zone for the whole country. And that is why they don't have a problem with the new server. Like we have this issue now with Aion being certain servers are east and certain servers are west, and at first you're like, well, okay, they're all actually physically located in the east apparently. So who cares? What's the big deal? Actually, for when WoW released, we played on a West Coast server. We didn't
Yeah.
care. And it was no big deal. But then the more I read today, there's all of these scheduled raids and instances and content that open up at certain times during peak playtime for whatever your server is designated as. It's like, oh, that kind of changes everything with there being a 3-hour difference between the classifications of, the servers. And that's not good for us being a pre-existing guild with, long-time people on, both ends of the country. So this has been a fun debate back and forth today, and then we were talking it over, and we're getting a vote going, and all of a sudden, we look at the server list today, and they're all switched.
Yeah, we had
Somebody
originally
hit shuffle over it and seesaw.
rolling the die 20 about the servers.
We just fucking with you.
Yeah, we had originally staked out
Zykel.
Zekel,
Yeah.
Zykel or Zekel
Whatever. We can't
as
say
our
anything,
server. And when they announced on the site that, they're going to actually be split into East Coast and West Coast time zones, or Eastern and Pacific time zones, Zykel ended up becoming a Pacific time, which most of our group is on the East Coast. or at least Midwest enough towards the east that we are on EST. So that kind of just threw everything in not an uproar, but in a big question mark, saying, okay, what are we going to do? How does this really affect us? So that's why we've been digging in the past day or so of what this actually means. And we finally got to the point of saying, okay, we're going to go to an East Coast server.
No, we're going to vote.
Yeah, well, right. We voted on everything, but the vote was coming out towards the result of we're going to go to an East Coast server.
Because unfortunately for our West Coast wonderful people, there are more East Coasters, and so it's kind of it's silly to vote, but I don't know any other way to do it. You know what I mean? No. And then, but the other kick in the shin to Zekel was that they were also calling it the unofficial Oceanic server, and then there was this forum post I found by one of the community reps that said that, oh, well, maybe we can get, this one unofficial, Oceanic server. Maybe we could find, designate one to have Oceanic peak time. It's like, okay, well, that really cuts that out for us, because we'll never get to do any of the peak time, content that comes available, because we'll all be asleep.
And if you're like me and didn't know what Oceanic meant, it means Australians.
Australians, New Zealand, yeah.
I thought I'm in Wales would be playing with.
And they've actually...
You're going to be talking to this dude and you hear somebody playing a didgeridoo behind him.
I think that's probably offensive.
Is that racist?
No, it's
I don't know.
It's just Aborigines in Australia.
I don't know any Australians. Any Australians listening to this, tell us if that's offensive.
Let us know if we've offended anybody.
Yeah, multiplaying@gmail.com. Yeah. Tell us how offensive.
Say Slurm,
Slurm said it.
R.E. Slurm is an asshole.
They might be impressed that you know what a degree 2 is.
Yeah.
See, I know what one is because my roommate in college went to Australia for a month and came back with one. So
nice.
Yeah.
Could he play it?
She.
Could she play it?
No.
They're hard to play. I've got one too. Ex-girlfriend came back from a trip in Australia.
Maybe it was her.
Was she Canadian?
No.
No, she lives in the UK.
All right. Did she take it with her?
Nope.
You still got it?
I do. And it's
just call her every once in a while playing that thing?
I don't think my wife would be too happy with it.
Oh.
She could play it.
I don't play with things while I call other women.
No, you just save them. Save them forever.
You don't play with long cylindrical things while you call women?
Blow on it.
All the phallic stuff stays in a closet.
There's the phallic closet. It's
Grok
labeled.
has a whole closet of ex-girlfriend phallic things.
Hey, don't we all have that closet?
I just got the hot chicks room.
Hot chicks room. The panty room. Just old panties of hot chicks you bang. You guys have that, right?
Uh-huh.
No, just
got them all bronzed.
So anyway, currently we're waiting to get some official word because it's going back and forth in the forums, and I can't tell which people are accurate about. Some people say on the China server it doesn't matter because it's every 2 hours that something happens, that something gets opened up anyway, and it doesn't matter. Other people saying no, that's not true. Though you're looking at the peak times, and during the peak times that's true, but not peak times. It's silent for those, fortress stuff opening up and everything. So I'm not sure which is true, and I don't know what that means for us then still at this point, what to pick. Or because if it didn't matter, then I don't care, but then again, of course, no one would care. But then again, if it didn't matter, why label them at all? Yeah. And they're saying well, it makes sense to keep it this way, because the game, what they're trying to avoid is the 24/7 rating where, the going to bed, waking up, everything is ruined, or changed, and the alarm clock raids and everything. And that's why they have the system in place. Well, in countries where there's one time zone, it works. But, here we have 6.
And the funny thing, too, is they just released the third sort of video. I forget what they're calling the videos. They've got those video podcasts. And so they just released the third one, and they're talking about how when they were developing the game, they really developed it with a global view. And I'm thinking, oh, really? You kind of forgot about the time zones.
Yeah.
So.
It just seems asinine to me to take an online community with no physical barriers and then create them. But
yeah, I can't for the life of me think of any real reason why they would go with that other than they just didn't think of it.
Yeah. It had not been a concern before.
Right now, there's some boss over there in Korea leaning over some guy's desk going, "Stupid! You're so stupid!"
They got time zones. What are you talking about? Stupid Americans. Stupid
big
Canadians. So we're on hold. We're not sure what server we're going to pick now. We didn't realize it was going to be an issue, and
Wait till they quit dicking around with the servers.
pretty much, yeah.
Did they acknowledge the fact that they've changed the times from the first time they posted
Yeah,
it?
one of the community representatives posted and said that they were originally posted incorrectly, and so this was to fix that. They were tagged wrong at first, and so
Because they found out we wanted to go to Zekel.
yeah,
That's
right.
when we have that much pull.
And
I told you the devs were tracking me.
but now that really messes up like all the people who voted for that to be the Oceanic server. They're all having a revote on Sunday to decide what to do because they really don't want to be on an East Coast server. You know, West
What
Coast.
day is that, Ab?
Which day?
What?
You're such a meathead.
What day are they doing the revote?
Doesn't know. He wasn't listening.
Sunday.
Yeah.
God, you're.
Well, I didn't know what you were asking. I can't just perform here. You know.
Are you paying attention to this?
Yes.
Are we still talking about the podcast?
Yes. I thought we were playing Peggle.
That's what you're doing.
No, I'm not playing Peggle.
It's Bubble Bobble.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of a big oopsie to tag them all wrong and post it. But because everyone kind of got all in an uproar, made some decisions, calmed down, and made some decisions, and then all of a
If it
sudden
was
it's like, oops.
If it was a month ago, it's not that big a deal. But since it's like a week before the
6
pre-select,
days before the pre-select, yeah. And so now everyone like freaked out, and then
this is like right now is when people start making plans.
yeah.
At that point, wouldn't it have just been easier to say, "Oh, we screwed up. Okay, well, let's just go
Just
with that
leave
list."
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why change it back?
Because like the Oceanic voting thing I saw, like it had tons of guilds listed that were taking part in this like decided server choice, you know. And it's like, oh my gosh, like they've completely organized like tons of people for this, and now they're all like, all right, let's do this again, people. Like that's not easy.
Well, see, and that's a strange thing too. Is they're like, they have no trouble saying that this is going to be an EST server, this is going to be a PST server. Why can't they go another step and say this is the Oceanic server and this is the RP server, instead of like making everybody sort of figure this out
Coordinate
on their own?
themselves. I know.
Yeah.
Well, the one dev said that he totally like. That's the one thing I posted on our forums. He had, or not dev, community rep, I guess, or whatever. He had posted that he saw that it was for people in New Zealand and Australia and stuff, the Oceanic people basically. It was going to be rather limiting as to what they could take part in then, if they had average peak times. So he was going to go talk to people, they, and there has been no response yet on that. And then there was also talk about, making an actual statement of what the unofficial RP server was, and they were going to poll something on the official forums, but I haven't seen that poll yet either. And the unofficial Aion role players server or forums, they have their own poll that they're going with, and it's like, oh my gosh.
It's weird that the devs that are PR people, whoever it is, actually seem quite supportive of an unofficial role-playing server, even though they're not going to make a role-playing server. They seem very supportive of that community aspect of it.
Yeah. Their community people are very friendly, very nice.
Yeah.
The one guy, he was checking on to get a confirmation as to whether or not, like how often these peak playtime issues, would occur, and is it going to be an issue? Because other people were saying, okay, well, I work midnights, so this peak playtime thing, even though I'm East Coast, I'm not going to want to roll East Coast. So they're kind of, wondering, well, where do I go? And it's kind of messy.
About guild news.
We don't have any guild news other than it's the same as the Aion news. We're just waiting to find out, okay, are you going to shuffle the servers again?
Right.
And does it matter?
Wait
Yeah,
and see.
I think we'll work it out.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Right, Tack.
Tag.
Tack is dead.
Tag.
They got him.
They did.
Oh shit! I'm here. No, I'm here. I had my.
Thank God. Yeah.
I have a friend down from college now, and a friend of mine who might be joining us in the guild. I was just kind of explaining to him what the podcast was. I wasn't talking because we were recording, and it's kind of
Oh, you're gonna run that by us? We got to know. We got to decide if he can be in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I said he's in, so he's in.
All right.
Get hot.
I'm pulling rank here, Mr. Officer.
Hot Dick Johnson over there. I don't even know what that means.
Confirmed new members.
I guess he's in.
Hey, I did have one. I did have one thing
So
to say.
guild news, we have a new member.
Actually, we should have like 3, maybe 4.
I don't know.
Wow.
It's going to be a lot. A lot of tackites going around.
Can they
Yeah,
wipe their own butt?
Scared.
Well, they're great if you want serious information on the guild. Like they're all like hardcore players. Like most of them were in the top rating guilds in WoW when I played. Woo! On
Okay,
board.
so I'll never play with them. Okay.
Hate us.
You just get free epics. Like I tell you, Zeli, you just tag along and get free epics after they farm it like 1,000,000 times.
Sweet.
Or in RVR, you just hang out with the high realm rank players and you just sap RPs just like in Dark Age.
That's what happened to me in WoW.
Nice.
It's just a hey, rack aside. That's the old guild.
Ah.
Thanks for all the free stuff.
I remember when people used to clear out like guild banks in Dark Age before they had like the permissions set up. That happened to a couple.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I gotta go.
Time's up. End call.
Well, GameSpot reviewed Champions Online 7.5.
For champions
Yeah,
from a week of play.
pretty much. Yeah, it's gotta be.
What would you give it, Slurm, if you had to give
Well,
it a 1
I
through
can't.
10?
I can't.
Yeah,
Just for
half-ass
us.
reviews don't have scores.
No, just for us. Like, what would you say? Would you agree with the 7.5? I guess.
But no, the thing is that I honestly didn't play into it enough.
They didn't either. They played for a week.
But I bet you they at least got to 20. I didn't get to 20.
You're assuming a lot.
Well,
It
if
says here
sat
they didn't even get to level 20. They say that. We didn't even get to level 20 right here. See that?
But we stand by our opinion.
I just didn't like the whole way the way the whole thing opened up. I think they just needed to ditch the whole alien invasion opening and leave that out as the tutorial. And the second place that you go to made more sense to be the tutorial. It just didn't make any fucking sense the way they did it. They should have had you start even in like choose between 2 or 3 different areas to start in. Go do that. That's the tutorial. It opens up more, but then you get the chance to go back to the city. They should have made some lower level mobs in the city because I think the lowest level mob in the city is like 15 or something like that. And I figured by the time I was 10 and broke out of that little story in the desert area that I was in once I got through that. There was Canada, and then there was a desert area. It was like in Nevada or whatever. But
Girlfriend in Canada.
with the phallic stuff.
Everyone has a
Exactly.
girlfriend in Canada.
They should have a phallic closet in the game. Dr. Phallus.
Hey, Gary, what about your girlfriend in Canada? I'm not even talking about her. Weird
For me, it
sign.
was just the game ran like sludge.
It did. It ran like shit.
Yeah, I have a good computer, and it just everything felt slow and muddy, and just
I agree with what I think it was. It might have been you, Shannon, that said it when I was showing. Who the hell was I talking to? I was looking at pictures on Shadow War's site, and the graphics. Like he's got a pretty good system, and looking at like the graphics.
I think it
of
looks
the
like
characters and
ass.
stuff,
Yeah, that was me.
well, the models and stuff looked fantastic. The characters look great when they're up close,
look okay.
but then you pointed out it's like you look at the stuff in the background.
Environment looks like
The environment
dick.
looks like shit, and
Yeah.
when I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? It really does. It looks
It looks
bland.
like it looks like a Barbie house. You forgot to put all the stickers on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that QB and goofy
Yeah.
looking, you know?
And I totally looked at that. I was like, man, it looks like I'm staring at a room in City of Heroes.
Yes.
'Cause it looks
yes.
that old.
It looks exactly like City of Heroes background.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it ran like shit. I agree with you, Grok. It just ran so janky compared to what you would expect it to for a game now.
Yeah. And for me too, and I think I mentioned this in one of the posts, I overall, like, I'm a huge comic book nerd. I love comic books, but it doesn't translate well to gameplay for me. It just, there's so many other heroes running around, and I don't feel special anymore, and that sort of universe doesn't lend itself well to kind of imagining yourself as that hero. Like in Aion, everybody is supposed to be a hero because, you know, you're a race. It's part of your race, and the story
Your
is
abilities,
kind of, yeah. Where it's like, you know, all of us got into some freak accident, and all of us are superheroes. And in fact, we outnumber the civilians on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been reading that on a lot of reviews and blog postings about Champions. Is that, I mean, City of Heroes kind of had the
I
same.
was going to say, isn't it the same thing in City of Heroes then?
It had the same problem in City of Heroes, but to me at least, it seemed even worse. Maybe it was because City of Heroes was the first kind of superhero game, so you kind of overlooked it. But now that Champions is out, you kind of look at it and say it's the same thing. You still have that feeling like, oh, there's 20 other superheroes right there. I don't feel special at all.
No, I think you're right. It's
I didn't
because
get the whole superhero thing.
it was the first, because City of Heroes was the first one. You expect some sort of refinement on it with Champions, something to make it more immersive.
And ultimately, that was, I don't remember if I even wrote this on my second review of Champions, but that was my ultimate disappointment with that game. I was looking, you guys know how much I was looking forward to Champions.
I know.
I brought up Aion, I brought up Champions. I said, yeah, I'll probably be playing Champions until tour because I'm really looking forward to that.
I knew you weren't going to be playing it.
But but that was my biggest disappointment, is that because I was disappointed that they didn't do enough different with that game. They made it a little more actiony, which I still say you can argue the abilities in that game of being actiony because you're holding down a fucking button. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
It's like the difference of having 2 or 3 of the same ability of different strengths. You have to think of which one am I going to use for the situation. Instead, you're just how long am I going to hold down this button?
Yeah.
That's all it is. I don't know. I just didn't seem. I liked the picking up and throwing things. That was pretty cool. But I always had problems with it actually lining up on the character and actually picking up. A lot of times I'd run over to a trash can or something to pick up, hit and hold down the button to pick it up. It'd do the animation, but then go right back to the standing animation like, oh, I didn't pick that up for you.
Yeah.
So, okay.
There were 2 things I did like about it, and that was when I went to the sort of desert area, and they had a sort of Hulk-like creature that was jumping throughout the area.
Oh, Grand. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool because that
dude. Did you attack him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Why not? I was
Did
like,
you get one-shotted?
luckily there were 2 other people there, and I guess somebody did more damage than I did, and so he killed him instead. So, yeah. So I thought that was cool, and I liked the other thing that bothered me about City of Heroes was, like, I didn't feel like there were any real villains. I was fighting monsters all the time, and that to me was kind of meh. And this time they seemed to actually have villains in there. There was, like, that was a villain who's masked and looks like a supervillain I'm used to reading about, when I was reading comics, and I kind of thought that was cool.
Well, the one thing I haven't even seen in reviews, maybe the GameStop review got far enough to the point where they could create their own villain, but it wasn't.
Nemesis.
Yeah, the Nemesis. Thank you. The Nemesis thing didn't even supposedly come up until you got to like level 20, I think, maybe 30. Level 20. But that was it was like touted so much in the game that you get to create your Nemesis, blah 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 blah. But you don't get to do it for like the first 20 levels, and maybe that's insignificant because that's an easy number to get to. But I just felt that should have came earlier on. I would have liked to see them throw out the beginning tutorial. Put in that the place that you are going to for your like mission work is the tutorial zone, and when you hit 10, you have a run-in with the nemesis that you create, and then that kind of gives you the backing storyline for your character, and then go to the city following him for whatever reason. I think they could have done a hell of a lot more for your character's development to make you feel special.
Yeah, I think it's the usual thing they do, right? They got to place carrots strategically along the path, or at least that's what they think, and in order to keep you enticed. And I don't know, I don't mind anymore because, you've already got me for my 30 days, so just give me everything at once, and I'll determine whether or not it's fun. Because I'm going to get level 20 in 30 days anyway, so.
I think that's, at least for me, that's part of the problem with not wanting to play Aion right now, because I'm really at the point now with what you're saying. I don't want to get burnt out. I don't want to go through this carrot shit anymore. I just want to get to the end game of the PvP of Aion. That's really all I care about. I want to get there and see how that is. That's what's going to make or break the game for me. And there's the only way to do it is go through all the shit. Yeah. And I don't want to play through that multiple times. I want to go through it once. I already have an idea what character I want to play. I want to get in there, do it once, and be done with it. And that's like kind of the allure of games like Darkfall, which the more I see of it, the more I'm not really sure about. But when I read people like Snocone over at Hardcore Casual talk about it, about how you jump in and as soon as you can get your hands on some decent gear and some money, you can go out and party with the big boys because there's no level system. It's all like abilities and shit. So
that does sound cool, actually.
Yeah, it's like open. I mean, but the whole open PvP thing is kind of. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes me a little frightened too because there's always going to be jackasses.
Right. No, I would 10 years ago. I'd be totally into that, but now with only being able to play a couple hours a night, I'm not that into it to be able to put forth that effort.
Yeah, but still, anything's better than the king of the carrot givers. WoW. I loved WoW for a lot of years, but if I ever see another daily quest again, I'll fucking flip. That's another thing that I'm really happy about with Aion. I would rather have level grinds than have to be faced with a daily quest to get rep, because it takes away my choice.
Yeah. And
it's still a grind.
Yeah.
I did have one thing to bring up.
Oh, yeah.
Big thanks. If anybody actually goes to multiplaying.net, you may have noticed. Yeah, probably not. Okay, both of you people listen to this that happen to hit the site. If you noticed the banner change and its awesomeness, you could have thanks to give to Grok.
Oh, yeah, that rocks.
That is awesome.
And we need to put it on our forums.
Yeah, I'll do up another one for you guys.
And I need to put it on the podcast one, too.
Cool. Yeah, I was talking with Slurm a little earlier about doing a couple more versions of it. So, yeah, I'll get that done. Glad you guys made it.
You rock.
Yeah. Got the ideas going.
Stuff.
You read my mind. But yes, thanks, Grok. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Grok.
Thank you, Grok.
That piece of shit Slurms had out there, it was embarrassing.
It was bad.
Awful.
Bad.
I can't even bring my friends to the site.
I had threats. I had letters mailed to the house. Very, very, very angry people.
Instead of going to the site, we had to go to gentleman bars. Horrible.
Could meet in the phallic closet.
A panty room?
MEAT?
Stop it.
I'm pretty sure that's offensive.
Come on over to my house. I've got lots of phallic stuff in my closet.
I believe that's offensive to people with lisps. To people with lisps.
They don't even know who.
No, I don't know. I don't.
TF2.
TF2.
We didn't do TF2 this past week because
Yeah, they did.
I did.
Car and
I should have. Yeah. Tell us about it.
How'd that go?
It was fine. I think I only played like one game though, but it was a long one.
Hot.
Yeah. Phallic closet. No, it was a really good time. I played more with the engineer this time than I usually do. I had this desire since I've been getting eaten up by turrets so much. Been getting this desire to play them more. Trying to be more offensive with the engineering and drop into the turrets and stuff. So I had some fun. I only played the one night though. Good time. I think so I guess we can go ahead and say this upcoming Monday, what is that, the 14th?
Yeah.
Yeah, Monday the 14th we'll be playing again. At least I will be. So
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, it will be. I
For
like
sure.
the soldier.
yeah,
Yeah.
Soldier's fun.
Soldier is awesome. I just need to remember to switch my weapon when I get into like a small room.
Yeah, that one you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a class you need to switch quick because that rocket's not
I
going
was-
to be any good.
I was listening to Control Point podcast, and it was like, that's a sure sign of someone who doesn't know how to play their class. Yeah, that'd be me.
is that all you've been playing? Was the soldier though? Been trying any others out?
No, I just like this. I pick one, and I like that for a little while.
Cool.
That's the great thing about that game.
Yeah, you can just do whatever you want.
In mid game, just switch it up.
I did have to switch over to the medic and stuff a few times because like our whole team would be spies, and it's like
That's fantastic. Isn't it?
yeah, and like so you'd have to I don't know, have to switch. They're like you had like 4 spies and 4 snipers, and it's like okay, we're not gonna be able to do anything here, and we weren't. We were losing. Oh well.
Yep.
We have some listener feedback.
Indeed, we do.
I didn't get any.
Well, it came to the multiplaying@gmail.com feedback box
Oh,
of love.
wow. What did it say?
It was from I won't say her last name for security purposes, but a woman named Anna.
Because people
sent it
would
to us.
like literally like hunt her down and make fun of her.
Well, I don't know. So apparently my name got out there and my window went out.
Well, we don't want it to happen to a listener.
Yeah.
Protect them. Anyways, woman named Anna sent this in. It says, "I love this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't even play any games."
How did she hear about the podcast?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It says, unless
Very
you count
curious.
Monkey Island on the iPod, which I count that as a game.
I totally count that.
That's awesome.
Great. Yeah.
I have no idea what you guys are saying half the time, but you're damn funny. Keep it up. Feel free to include more Futurama references.
She sounds hot.
Yeah, I like her.
If she said Futurama references, she's got to be hot.
She's
Yeah.
awesome.
And she's female. I have some listener feedback too.
No,
You do?
Yeah, I do. I was listening to an episode at work, and someone walked by my office and said, "What the fuck you listening to?"
It counts.
Yeah, that counts totally. I don't know how many stars they would have given us.
Well, it's at least one.
Yeah.
It's one more than we had.
Yeah. Because those go like cumulative, right? Like I have 48 stars. Yeah.
It's just like Mario.
yeah.
It's like Sonic with the
You unlock
rings.
your rooms after you get so many stars.
Exactly.
We could use some more iTunes reviews, people.
Then you need the blue key.
I don't know why, but apparently I just want to collect them.
It's like Pokemon.
Yeah. I know. I never did that.
No.
No.
Sorry.
It's not my
Why'd
thing.
I say
Sure, you didn't.
I did not.
hmm
Oh, I'm a girl.
Still play Aion.
Girls play Aion.
More, actually, true.
Girls
More
play
happen.
TF2.
Yeah, no.
They
No,
do too.
no, you're in the minority.
I have not heard one girl on the voice chat for TF2.
I thought I did the other day, but then it was a 12-year-old.
Yeah. It's always that same voice.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Shut up, I'm 13. They'll say or something.
I'm in my teens.
Try 13.
And then
Yeah.
they, shut up, Mom, I'll be there in a minute.
Give me some chocolate milk.
Ma! Meatloaf!
We want it. Want the meatloaf?
Give me a soda, bitch. Oh, wait, that was Tracy Morgan.
Yeah. He's like 12, though.
Tracy Morgan's awesome.
What was that? Oh, God, I can't
We're
think
so
of the character
mellow
now.
today.
I'm Brian Fellows.
Brian Fellow.
We go to the zoo, and that's what Jason does, like, through the whole fucking zoo.
I just say it the whole play.
He just yells it, like, there's people around us, you idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Just go up and stand right next to somebody as they're looking at an animal. Just be dead silent for like a minute while they're still looking at it. Just go, I'm Brian Fellows.
That horse gonna kill me.
It's going to kill me. And if they
I don't
look at
trust
you,
that horse.
if they look at you, just look them dead in the eye and yell, I'm Brian Fellows.
Yeah. Eventually they'll walk away.
Then you follow them.
Grok, you get to read the outro.
Oh, where is it? I ain't gonna find it.
Aha!
You're
Busted!
busted. You
Busted!
don't give a shit about this.
You are not paying attention.
I had the YouTube video open. I couldn't find it.
You can't have
It's called tabs, buddy.
I've got it.
All right.
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast to multiplaying.net. The views expressed in this podcast are solely attributable to those who convey them. Our views should not be misrepresented as the official views of anyone or anything else. Questions, comments, feedbacks, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net. Do I need to redo that whole thing?
No, I can.
No, we're going to add car crash.
Awesome.